How would you convey or portray a story that goes from a bleak and gloomy palette in the start to a bright and hopeful one in the end in a black and white comic? Well, obviously, when I think of bleak and gloomy, I definitely think of darkness and shadows, maybe a lot of grays and muddiness. Every panel in the early part of your comic could be intentionally darker, but that doesn't mean it has to be lifeless and flat. In fact, if I turn the lines off for a moment, you can see that I've got a spackling of a lighter texture in the background and an old school repeating line pattern on the body, just to create some visual interest. Now you'll notice that I've also got the panel gutters dulled down to gray, rather than the traditional white gutters that you see in a lot of comics. But as the story goes and the tone gets more hopeful, we can lighten that gray gutter, and of course lighten the actual background. The world around the character is literally brighter now. And maybe we can borrow from art history with a gradient of light coming from above, almost like the hopeful light shining down in classic Renaissance paintings. Of course, more light means more potential for highlights, so we can illuminate the character more, and even create a subtle effect on the line art layer itself to imply a glow of hope. Now there's a lot of subtlety, but basically we've really just created a day look and a night look. But what if you want the depressing, gloomy part of your story to be set in the daytime as well? Well, one trick is to continue playing with the gutter colors. You can use a traditional bright white for the gutters in the hopeful portion, and push the gutters to pure black for the gloomy portion. We do this in one of our comics, where the characters' struggles are signified by dark gutters, even in the daytime. And now we can change the panel background to the same light gray tone in both. But we still really feel that change of mood between the first portion of the story and the second. Of course, comics don't start and stop with art. You can change the tone of your writing between depressing and hopeful as the character evolves. And the lettering itself can be stylized to match the vibe of each look. This is how every discipline in comics works together to affect the reader.